Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 18th of October, comes to you from London. And markets are looking really interesting at the moment. Bitcoin is on the verge of making a new high. Ethereum, which I disclose I hold some, also looking set to make a new high with good upside targets. Looking at Bitcoin, we're just nudging that all-time high, $60,000, and we've been talking about this target of 82,000, 83,000 for quite some time. So that looks like where we're going. Now you just can't ignore the targets. Looking at the dollar index, we see the dollar has had a bit of a weak time the last few days, but still holding near the highs that we saw, breaking the August high, and still that dollar strength medium term showing through. Upside targets some 7% higher, and we've got quite a few upside targets around 1 or 2% higher on the short-term chart. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute long-term, medium-term, and short-term views in the market. So if we look at the euro, we see here that that's falling against the dollar in the medium-term chart and falling back now on the short-term chart. Might find some cloud support in the long term, but on the whole, we are seeing a transition occurring. And against the yen, that 114 level, really significant that we're seeing the dollar break out against the yen, tends to be a lead indicator for the dollar. So upside potential of some 4 to 11% higher, and if we break to new highs, very big targets there. Sterling sitting at 137, has been stronger the last few days, but on the whole still a medium-term downtrend against the dollar. Against the euro, we're sitting at 118.5. That's quite interesting that we've pushed higher than the August high. That's the highest level we've seen for 18 months on sterling against the euro. So sterling definitely has the upper hand with a few upside targets still to play for. The S&P 500 index was up 0.75% on Friday, so looking stronger again, back into short-term bullish territory. Found cloud support. The longer-term trend does look to be rolling over just a little bit, so markets have seen a little bit of jitters. And we look at the Nasdaq, similarly, we're back into bullish territory on the short-term chart. And finding some cloud support there as well. The futures look set to open lower today, 0.25% lower on the S&P 500 and 0.4% lower on the Nasdaq, and that is pushing the VIX volatility up some 6%. So the fear index bouncing, but we are still in bearish territory all around there. So nothing like the fear that we saw in the markets a year and a half ago when COVID was hitting. The FTSE futures down 0.15%. The DAX in Germany down just under 0.5%. The CAC 40 in Paris down 1%. Japan was down 0.33%. So finding cloud support. No big surprises. The cloud's working here as very much a Japanese analysis technique, but we are just back into the short-term bullish chart. But we did give up a lot of that August rise to come back to find support, so it'll be interesting to see if we can hold that. The Hang Seng index was down slightly, and Hang Seng was up slightly, and Shanghai was down slightly. A lot of focus on Chinese GDP numbers out today, but not enough to really affect the market there. The Sensex in India are up 0.75%, still looking one of the stronger markets in Asia, and the Aussie market up 0.25%. So looking better there as well. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Some of the soft commodities, wheat up 0.5%. We'll look on the verge of breaking to new highs there with good upside targets. Corn also higher. Gold just struggling at this 1766 level, just can't get above the $1,800 mark. So gold just pulling back. Silver actually up 0.4% this morning, looking a bit better on that short-term chart. We are seeing precious metals, platinum and palladium down 0.4%, so just struggling there. Palladium bouncing off the bottom, but back into short-term bearish with downside potential, some 1/3% lower. Looking at the US 10-year yield, sitting at 1.6% this morning, just holding that gain really that we've seen. So we're bullish on all three time horizons. 1.7, 1.75, 1.79 is the target to aim for, and really watching for this Bund making a low. That's the big concern at the moment, is bond markets falling, bond yields rising, inflationary pressures. It's in the news a lot at the moment. The Brent Crude chart is pushing higher. We've got upside targets on the long-term chart, 83. We've hit the 84 mark. 88 is the next. 86, 80, 86, 90 on the short-term chart, looking like likely targets. and that's compliant with the 87 level. So it looks like we're going to around 87. On WTI, the targets here are 85 and 87. 84 is the short-term target. Those are the 1 minute charts. If you're trading oil, you need to keep an eye on those charts. Looking at the nat gas price, we're seeing here in the US just falling away. We're a little bit bearish on nat gas at the moment. We've got we're making that lower low, which is significant. No clear downside targets, but just that fall away is a bit of a concern. We're seeing LNG prices holding higher. Of course, they spiked near the 50 mark. We're back to 33. Seems like a big fall, but of course, in the context of where we've been, gas prices have gone up multiple fold this year, and so still relatively high. Coal, no big changes here this morning. Well, it's down 3.5%. Just struggling here. We neutral coal at the moment because it's not clear. We've got upside targets and downside targets. So we went out to clients with a call on that this morning. Emissions were less bullish. Again, just testing this 58 level. Fall through 58 would be pretty bad for European emission prices. UK gas falling lower. We were lower this morning. We've recovered back to neutral, but we are finding some support here. And we look at TTF down 1.3%, again recovering from the initial opening. And if we look at German power, we're holding that 128 level. Nordic power not looking as good. All out in our morning report to energy clients this morning. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.